Greetings and salutations out there, everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. And don't adjust your headsets or whatever devices you're listening on. Yes, it is the Psycho Nerd. Yes, I am officially back in full swing. It's been a little while. It's been a little bit longer than what I was expecting to do, but things happen, life happens, it is what it is. But for everyone who has been following my channel up until now, you already knew that I was going to Fantastic Fest. That was last month. It's let's see, today is 10:29, just after midnight, so that was well over a month and about a week ago that we started for Fantastic Fest, the first day of the festival. But this right here is just a quick introduction to the recording that you're about to hear. So the recording that you will hear was recorded on the first day of Fantastic Fest, which was September 18, 2025. Initially, me and CJ, we did try to do a podcast recording at the hotel the day before the first day of the festival, but it was already late. We were very tired. We had a long day. We weren't feeling it. It just wasn't working out so well. So uh, we decided to scrap that recording and try again. So this recording happened the actual day of the festival, the first day, I should say, literally just a few hours prior. So what this recording is the first Fantastic Fest that her and I first went to 2 years ago, back in 2023. I wanted to do a ranking, and I've been working on this for the past several months, as a matter of fact, going back and trying to rewatch as many of the movies that were available back or that we watched, I should say, back in 2023, so that I can have a better opinion and do a full ranking of all 17 movies that we watched that year. That was the initial plan. I originally I wanted this recording to be out right before we went to the festival. I wanted to be done with it beforehand, but it just, unfortunately, we weren't able to link our schedules up long enough for us to do the recording and be able for me to go in, do the editing and everything else to get it on the channel. It just didn't happen. So we decided, okay, we'll at least do the recording while we're up there. We're not going to have time to do any editing up there. I'll do it when I get home. And then, of course, we got sick after the festival. And as soon as I got done, as soon as I got over being sick, I went right back to work again. And yeah, excuses are like assholes, but I'm not going to, yeah, you already know where I'm going with that. So here we are. This is the recording that we did that particular day. It's already been fully edited. It's ready to go. I just wanted to do this initial introduction just to kind of let you know what the time frame we're looking at is. Like I said, right now, this recording that you're hearing is 10:29. So we already have a few other recordings in the chamber that I'm going to be working on, and a few other that I want to record and hopefully get on my channel before Halloween, but I make no promises at this point. On top of all that, I've also been busy working over my brother's two podcasts. He has two of them now. Originally, I was helping him out on the Josh Zodiac podcast, but now he has another one, the Real Movie Critics, and we've already done a handful of episodes. So I apologize that I've been neglecting this channel again for the second time this year and just not putting anything out for an extended amount of time. That, like I said, that was definitely not my initial intention. So for all 12 of my subscribers out there, I do apologize for that. But I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling. I got a few other things that I want to talk about on another podcast I want to film. Without further ado, this is the recording from September 18, 2025, our 17 movie ranking at Fantastic Fest 2023. Hope you enjoy it. How's it going out there, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are. Me, on the other hand, I am actually currently in Austin, Texas. Only a few hours away from the first night of Fantastic Fest. Can't tell you how excited I am. Welcome to the podcast, to the Psycho Nerd podcast to be exact. And I am accompanied tonight with my partner in crime when it comes to Fantastic Fest, CJ.
Hello.
I love how she waves to the microphone. It's cute. It's so cute. Anyway, So, yes, we are just a few hours away from the first movie of the first night, which is Primate. We've already got all of our stuff. We're very excited. Now, we did try to film this podcast last night, but
I was sleepy, very sleepy.
she was very sleepy.
I'm kind of sleepy again, but I'm doing it.
So instead of it going through the majority of the podcast before she starts giving me the look like I want to go to sleep, she'll do it halfway this time.
I
So
won't.
sooner or later we'll get through this.
We
So
will.
we will.
I'm drinking a cherry Pepsi. I should be okay.
See, we got visited by the Pepsi fairy, so
Yeah, it's an awesome fairy.
yeah, he's cool. At least it's the fairy and not Pepsi Man, because that guy is nightmare fuel.
Mm.
If you even know who that is.
He's a Pepsi
It's a
man.
Go watch the AVGN. He did a whole episode on it once. Anyway, so this podcast I've been wanting to do for the past. I've actually been working on it for the past month. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is both of us went to Fantastic Fest for the first time 2 years ago, 2023, and we saw 17 movies over 4 days. We only went for the second half. So what I wanted to do was go back and rewatch all the movies. Unfortunately, I got to rewatch all but four, and I wanted to go back and rank them based on watching them now versus 2 years ago. Because unfortunately, between the two of us, we had a big problem staying awake throughout every movie the first year we were here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was nice to be able to go back and rewatch the majority of these films with a fresh pair of eyes, not falling asleep, and that way I could actually, talk about them more in detail and not be like, oh yeah, well I don't remember this, I don't remember that. But so initially I didn't tell her what order these movies were going to be in because I kind of wanted to gauge her reaction. But since we practiced this last night, she already knows what to expect.
Yep.
So, starting the countdown, we're going to go with number 17, So Unreal. She is shaking her head. You can't see it, but she's totally shaking her head.
It was so unreal to sit through that whole entire movie and be forced to stay awake.
2 podcasts ago, I had mentioned that this was the movie that put her to sleep and bored me to tears. So, unfortunately, that's what it is. It was a documentary. It was actually narrated by Debbie Harry, who you may know from Blondie. That basically the whole documentary, it talks about different science fiction movies that have come out within, like 1981 to 2001. More specifically, movies dealing with stuff like cyberspace, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, shit like that. Some of the movies that were actually featured were like excuse me, Tron, Hackers, The Matrix, Lawnmower Man. There were a lot of others too, but those are some of the main ones I can remember. So, yeah, unfortunately, this one just didn't do it for either one of us. For me, and she'll agree with me, Debbie Harry's voice, what they did is they altered her voice to make her sound more robotic, more AI. So it just kind of droned throughout the entire film, and that's part of the reason why she fell asleep. Not so much because she was tired, but I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the best choice.
It was like elevator music. It's like being tortured with elevator music. That's cruel.
Oh, you poor thing.
But
So
I think if you wouldn't have done that, the whatever the producer was would have used a different way to do the voice, made it more upbeat.
I mean, I get what they were going for because it was dealing with like AI and stuff. They wanted her voice to kind of reflect that. I get what that's what they were doing, but in the grand scheme of things, maybe it wasn't the best idea for everybody. So, and for me, the movie is comparable to like watching a series of clips on YouTube. Like for me, sometimes, I mean, I'm a big fan of Family Guy, and on YouTube, a lot of times you'll find these clips that are like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever. And usually when I put one of these on, I'll watch it for about 20, 30 minutes. And then eventually I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm enjoying this, but I'm kind of done. I want to do something else. That's what this movie felt like. After about 30, 40 minutes for me, I was like, okay, this is not really telling me anything I don't already know. It basically was just watching different clips from all the movies. And that's pretty much it. But again, because I was not able to rewatch it, I wasn't able to see if maybe my perspective was a little bit off. I don't know. So because this one is not available anywhere. So if anybody hears this that's attached to the movie, can you if you could find a way to get me a copy, I would greatly appreciate it.
Hmm.
I would like to watch it one more time because I am the repeat movie viewer on my YouTube channel. And sometimes movies that don't hit the first time, sometimes they get a little better the second time. So only time will tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, only time will tell. All right, number 16, The Altman Method. This is the second movie I was not able to rewatch. So unfortunately, it's going to go low on the list only because I don't remember the second half of the movie at all. I actually dozed off on this movie. It's so far into it.
Which one was that one in?
That was the one. It was listed originally as a psychological thriller. It's about a couple. You've got the wife. She's like a struggling actress. She used to be more famous earlier on, but now she's just kind of looking for work. The husband owns a karate dojo, which at the start of the film it's floundering. It's not doing so well. So some kind of random incident actually happens where the husband gets attacked by like a terrorist, quote unquote terrorist, and he ends up killing this person in self defense. Okay, that's pretty crazy for what it is. All of a sudden, his dojo is, like I said, it was on the verge of closing down. Now has a whole bunch of new students that want to learn from him because of what happened. So basically, what it is that the wife at first she kind of just takes the husband's story for what it is, but as the movie goes on, she starts to see little cracks in the story, and she starts to suspect something different really happened. So yeah, so like I said, this one being another one that I was not able to rewatch, I can't really comment on anything past about 40 minutes in. And it sucks. It sucks because I really wanted to give this one another go because I don't even remember how it ended. That's how much I don't remember. Again, if anybody hears this that's attached to this movie in any way, could you make this movie available, please, somehow? I mean, a lot of the movies from 2 years ago are available in some fashion or another, but not 100%. So that's all I can really say about that one. Number 15, The Strangler.
Oh my goodness.
She loved this movie. She
The
loved this movie.
hell I did.
Just see the look. She looked at me real quick, like, "What the fuck, dude?" Okay, so to be fair, at the time of us watching this was like the next to last day, wasn't it? It was like the first movie of the day. Uh, yeah, we didn't care for it the first time we saw it. Going back and rewatching it, I still can say that it's not the best movie I saw at the festival, not even close, obviously, because it's number 15. But essentially, what this one's about, it's from the 60s. It's about a young boy, about 8 to 10 years old. He sneaks out in the middle of the night, ends up coming across this one guy, ends up watching him strangle a random woman with the kid's scarf, by the way, which I thought was random. And then all of a sudden, the kid is all grown up and he starts strangling women himself. A little foreshadowing, I guess.
Yeah.
He learned from the guy that it's okay to go around killing women. Go figure on
I
that.
would like to know how he got his scarf.
I can't remember how he did, to be honest with you. I think he just like took it from the kid and then used it, something like that. It was weird. So at this point, at the start of the film, when he's grown up, he's already killed 5 different women, and apparently there is a pattern with all the women he's killed. All of them are lonely, single, and suicidal. So essentially, it's kind of like he feels like he's doing them a service, helping them out by releasing them from from their life, kind of like Doctor Kevorkian, essentially putting them out of their misery. So, on along with that, you've got this policeman, like a detective, who gets desperate in trying to catch him. So he actually goes on TV and radio and gives out his address and his phone number in hopes that this guy will actually contact him. After all this, there's a random woman who sees the broadcast who decides to search out the detective, and for whatever reason, she wants to offer herself up as bait to help catch the Strangler character. Okay, sure, why not? On top of all that, there's this guy that's going around and literally robbing all of the Strangler's victims literally seconds after he kills them.
And he is the smartest one in that whole movie.
Going around and robbing people literally after they get killed. I'm not one for robbing people, but that I agree. It's like that's the best way to do it because who's going to suspect anybody else doing it as outside of the strangler himself? But I mean, the premise is not that bad, but the problem is it raises questions. Like when the detective, when he finally meets this guy, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't arrest him. He doesn't give him a slap on the wrist. He has like a little conversation with him, and yeah, they see each other several times. He never does anything about it. So all those women getting killed after he meets them, they're pretty much on him. No, they are on him, I should say. Uh, and just a few things about the movie that rub me the wrong way. Some of the editing seems a little weirdly tight in places. I don't know how to explain it. And some scenes are completely pointless. Like there's one point where a woman is in a restaurant and she's just walking around for several minutes and she's singing. But she keeps looking at the camera, by the way. At least it looks like she is. After she's done, that's it. We don't learn anything about her. She has no part of the story whatsoever. It's just kind of there to beef up the runtime, I guess. And then there's also a couple we see that are just having a random conversation in the park. They walk off camera and we never see them again.
They changed their mind.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We're out. We're done. Yeah, we can't do this. And for about half the movie, it is kind of a slow burn, as people like to call it. So yeah, that's the best I can say. There's not much positivity to this one. I do like the fact because it is made in the '60s, the filming aesthetic. I don't know what it is. I have a thing for older films. It really fascinates me, like how they look over the decades. So that's really the only good thing I can say about this one. I don't think I will watch this one again anytime soon, if ever. Now I know she's never going to see it again.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I'll
Okay.
pass.
Okay, she passes. All right, so number 14, the third movie that I was not able to rewatch, Scala.
That one was an interesting one.
This was the second documentary that we saw. This one talks about a movie theater in England, I believe it was, that ran for so many different years. And basically, it just talks about all of
History.
the history, the random shenanigans that happened at this movie theater. So again, this one I did doze off periodically when we watched it the first time. Did you doze off at all? I don't think you did.
No, I was really interested. It was interesting. The way they did it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I wish someone had picked it up because
Same here.
that would have been a good one to watch again.
Yeah, somebody get on that so I can watch some of these damn movies again, please. That's the only reason why I put it low because I can't give too many specifics about it. So, but that's all I can really say about that. Number 13, Infested.
Oh,
She's giving me the evil eye, people. She could burn a hole right through me. Okay, so this is like a horror movie about
zombie
spiders.
spiders.
Spiders. So
Zombie alien spiders.
you know what? That's probably not far off. I mean, the movie starts out with a group of guys that are walking through a desert. They're looking under rocks. One of them finds a hole. A whole bunch of these spiders pop out. They capture a whole bunch of them. One guy gets killed. All of a sudden, we shoot to the main character. He's some random guy that this is also a foreign film, by the way. I should have been mentioning that. Basically, he's a big fan of like rare animals or reptiles and bugs and whatnot. He has a whole bunch of animals in his apartment, and he goes to buy a gift for a friend, sees that somebody has a spider in a container. He buys it, takes it home to his apartment building, and he is single-handedly the reason why
The
every
movie keeps going.
the movie keeps going and everything goes to shit. He takes the spider, puts it in a shoebox, pokes a couple of
That's
holes.
on him. He
It-
shouldn't have done that shit. That is so.
I don't know why he couldn't just keep it in the container. What was it hurting anything?
I don't.
It's like you don't know anything about that spider. And that's one of my problems with the movie. We don't learn anything about this species because apparently it can do all kinds of weird shit. So apparently, at one point, somebody throws a towel on the spider, on a spider, I should say, stomps the crap out of it. When they lift it up, all of a sudden, it miraculously multiplies into like 15 spiders, all different sizes, and it goes in different directions.
The alien spider.
Yeah, something that's freaking weird. So that's one of my biggest problems. They don't explain where this damn thing came from or why it's so different from everything else. But basically, it gets a stronghold, it multiplies in this building, it starts killing a bunch of people, and they're trying to escape. This one reminds me a little bit of that Mexican movie Wreck. The idea that all these people are being contained, the police won't let them leave. They have to try to find a way to escape. What else did you think it reminded you of?
Uh, the arachnophobia movie.
Arachnophobia. So they're remaking that.
Why?
Why remake anything?
Uh,
Somebody at work had an interesting idea of why is it they take all the great classics over years and remake those? Why not take the movies that didn't do well, that were kind of and remake those, but make them better?
you need to tell that person that they answered their own question because they get the ones that were making a lot of money and remake them because they had made a lot of money.
But who's to say you can't take one that didn't do well before and make it better, and that one could make money if you
Yeah,
get the
they
right
don't see
person?
that.
Well, if you get a person with enough imagination, it could work.
Oh, I'm sure it can, but these people don't think like that. They have a one-track mind.
Well, you're probably not wrong about that. So there you go. Infested, I don't think it was terrible personally. It was okay, but the characters are not very memorable in my opinion. Even the main character, he doesn't really get too interesting until later on in the film. But the fact that he's directly responsible for everything going on, it's like, dude, you just screwed up over and over again.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I could see watching this one again down the road just for the hell of it, but I definitely don't want it in my collection. I didn't enjoy it that much. So, moving on, number 12, In My Mother's Skin. This was the second movie of the first day. So, this one, I'm really not sure how I would describe this one. This is more like a tragedy, fantasy kind of movie. It takes place during the tail end of World War II. Essentially, you got this guy that comes back to his family. He's being hounded by some random guy who thinks that the father stole a bunch of gold, but he's like, I don't know where the gold is or whatever. So he shows up to be with his family for like 2 seconds, and then he leaves for the majority of the film, leaving the mother and the two kids, a sister and a brother, to fend for themselves. And then soon after, the mom actually starts showing signs of getting sick. She ends up being bedridden for a good while, and then the kids are wandering through the forest because they don't really have any food or anything, so they're just kind of looking around. They come across a random house with this woman who just lives out in the freaking woods, wearing this like a really elaborate dress and whatnot. I want to say they referred to her as a fairy or something at some point. I'm
She
not too
didn't
sure.
look like no fairy that I would
No,
ever.
no, she really didn't. She looked kind of creepy to me. But what ends up happening is that this woman, the little girl visits this woman a couple different times, tells her about her problem, and the woman gives her a bug to give to her mom that apparently is supposed to help her with her problem, whatever's wrong with her. So the girl takes the bug, puts it on her mom. The bug goes inside of her, and then it seemingly cures her, but no, it actually doesn't. It actually makes things worse. So, without getting too much into detail, this movie was memorable in the ending because of how tragic it was. Just a lot of shit goes down at the end. So, but I think we can both agree.
That little girl was awesome.
Yes, the main actress, Felicity, I think her name was, is by far the best part of the film. She's the best actress. She practically carries this movie on her shoulders. I will definitely be
Really.
looking up her work in the future.
Hopefully, she keeps going.
Hopefully. I think she's got a future if she keeps going. I agree. What else? I mean, honestly, the movie itself, it doesn't have a bad premise or anything, but it's just the execution. And this movie fails, or it commits one of the worst sins in horror movies for me: the fact that it's really dark in some scenes. Like you can barely see anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm just struggling to find out what's going on. But
They
all
need to
they
turn the lights on.
yeah, well, it's like all they have are candles, but nobody's lighting candles. It's like, come on, help yourself out. And there's a lot of drawn out moments. This is another one that's a slow burn. It's easy to get bored or fall asleep during this movie, amidst all the good things that I mentioned before. So I honestly, again, I don't want to own this movie in my collection, but I will probably watch it again down the road just to kind of reminisce, considering that it was one of the first movies we saw
Yeah.
ever in our history of Fantastic Fest. Okay, so I'll let you introduce the next one, number 11, Door.
Oh, hmm.
Go ahead, go ahead. I'll let you have the mic for a second.
Door could have been so much better, but it wasn't. It was a dumpster fire at the end because
Okay, so she's talking specifically about the end. So this, I want to say this is like a Japanese movie. Came out in the late 80s, which is funny because one thing I liked about this movie is one of the musical notes that plays throughout the film. I always thought, like when we were watching it, I thought it had a kind of an 80s flair to it. And I thought, well, maybe it's just me. But then I found out it came out like 88, I think.
something like
And I
that.
was like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. I picked up on that. So, okay. So in this movie, you've got a family with you got a wife, husband, and a kid. The father is barely in the film because he works. They never really explain. He works like for a computer company or something, and he's always away. He's gone like for hours or even days at a time. So she pretty much takes care of the kid all by herself. And when the movie starts out, she gets visited after her son goes to school. She gets visited by this creepy salesman character.
And she keeps saying that her husband is either coming home or her husband's home, something like that.
Yeah, she makes it pretty aware that she does have a husband to get this guy to piss off. But he's trying to, he comes to her door and he actually tries to open the door and force it open. But luckily for her, she had a one of those
Foxhole.
She had a mailbox. Oh, she's got one of those lock and chains, so he couldn't get the door completely open. But because he does that, if she freaks out and slams the door, but when she does, she slams it on his hand and pretty much breaks it. And this is the what starts everything in the movie.
This
Essentially,
makes him want to be a stalker and stalk her the hell out of her and scare the crap out of her.
that's exactly what he does. He spends the whole movie going out of his way to try to terrorize her. Like as soon as the whole door thing happens, he sits there and kicks her door literally 150 plus times.
How in the hell can somebody kick it that many times and not have their leg hurting?
I thought the same thing. Like he probably would have
Ow.
broken his foot after a while.
Yeah,
I mean, I kicked a tinsel bear once, one time, and it hurt my foot. So
I'm not even.
I was working at the theater and I was having a bad day. It turned out to be a really
So
dumb
you
idea.
took it out on the poor thing.
It was a piece of metal with rope in it.
Hence, you shouldn't have done that.
No, I should not. Yeah, shame on me. Yeah, me slapping my hand. Anyway, so yeah, this guy just becomes a creepy stalker character. A few other things he does. He leaves a sperm laced tissue in her mail slot.
How disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. He actually writes, "I am sexually frustrated. Can someone please do it with me?" on her
You
door.
have two hands. You can take care of yourself, sir. I'll throw some lotion out through the little hole. You
No,
go
no,
have
no,
some
no.
fun.
He writes that it pertains to her to make her look bad. He's
Mhm.
writing it on her door to let anyone who sees it think that that she wrote that. He writes it in some weird, I don't know. It looks like whiteout or something, or I don't know what it is.
Goodness.
But bottom line is, he basically just becomes completely obsessed with her. And what's one thing about this movie I found interesting is that the level of tension that's going on here, because at first neither one of them see each other's faces because of the chain link on the door. So finally he gets one up on her by finding out what she looks like, so he's literally following her around out in public and she has no clue that it's him. He even goes so far as to be in the elevator with her and just giving her this creepy cold stare. You know what I mean? It's really out
It's
there.
really creepy.
It's creepy. Yes, thank you for emphasizing what I said. I appreciate it. So yeah, so the ending goes in a completely interesting, weird direction that you just don't see coming, where he actually gets into the house, but I won't get too much into detail on that. But one of the biggest positives is the actor that plays the stalker. He's my favorite part of the movie. He does a great job of playing this character, of just making you think, dude, get a life. Like, seriously, get over it. But whatever. Personally, I didn't like the son in this movie. I found him to be really annoying. I'm not sure if it's the actor's fault.
I don't think it would be. I think it would be the writer's fault.
It depends because that's the only thing I've ever seen the kid in. But his dialogue is not very good, and he yells almost everything he says. He's kind of an annoying little shit.
Maybe
So
that's what they told him he needed
maybe
to be.
maybe it is. Who knows? But this is also another one of those that's like a slow burn. Takes a little while to get where it's going. But when it does get to the finale, I gotta admit the finale just goes complete craziness up until the end. And you know what? Some good practical effects going on here for the 80s. You know what I mean? So not a terrible film. I've already watched this one a couple different times. But again, I don't know if I will own it in my collection.
I think I'm good.
You think you're good. So
I
far,
don't.
everything I've talked about, you wouldn't own. Maybe Scala.
Scala, I don't.
Okay, Scala, she would actually buy. That's fair. All right, moving on. We're getting to the top 10.
Yay!
Yay! And there was much rejoicing. For
Yeah.
all you Mighty Python fans out there. All right, so next up, we got River.
Oh,
One thing I will say about Fantastic Fest before we went, I really wasn't the biggest fan of like foreign films, mostly because like subtitles and stuff like that. But quite frankly, after being at this festival, I have a newfound respect and love for foreign films. It used to be like if I knew a movie had subtitles, I would just kind of turn my back on it. Now that doesn't bother me anymore. So this one is, I got to admit, the synopsis is what attracted me to it. It puts a spin on the whole time loop idea that was introduced in Groundhog Day and also used in Edge of Tomorrow and even Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day, excuse me. But it puts a little spin on it because in those films, it was either somebody the time loop would start over if they got killed or if they went to bed at night, you know what I mean? But in this one, it's a little different. Apparently, it's a 2 minute loop.
and it's 20 minutes too long.
20 minutes too long. That's your personal opinion?
Yes.
Okay, now to be fair, it's possible that maybe this one would have worked better as a short film, maybe. But I mean, at first it doesn't seem too bad. But uh, I will say this: the whole resetting every 2 minutes is very intriguing to me because every 2 minute loop is done in one shot. They literally follow the characters around with the camera, and everything is done in one shot until it starts over again. I thought that was a cool idea. But here's another thing about it that's interesting. The whole movie, it's a group of people that are in this like riverside pleasure house doing different things between the employees and the people that are staying there and whatnot. So the loop is only happening in their small radius, I think within like a mile radius or something. Everything outside of that is moving along at normal time. So that's at least different. So on the surface, the actors they do a pretty good job in this movie. I actually do enjoy all these different characters because how they all react to the whole situation. The only other thing is that the most interesting thing about this movie, the 2 minute loop, is also one of the biggest problems with it. It can be hard to kind of get through all the different loops in one sitting. It's exactly what I was talking about with So Unreal. You know, what I mean, like after so many loops, it's like I don't know. You kind of I start to lose interest a little bit. You know what I mean? It's weird how that works. There was some inconsistencies throughout the film.
I would take your word for it. Like the snow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it sometimes it would be snowing and other times it wouldn't be snowing and it's supposed to be repeating itself, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's inconsistent because in the beginning of the movie they do talk about how it's going to snow. Eventually the snow comes, and just like what she said, 1 minute it's there. A couple loops later, there's no snow. A couple loops, another loop after that, there's only some snow. Then it just bounces around like a ping pong ball. It makes me wonder if there was like a filming issue with that, where they couldn't afford to refilm all these scenes again, so they just strung it together with what they had.
Maybe.
It could be a possibility. Um, Again, for as interesting as the story is throughout the film, the ending, unfortunately, for me, it's kind of weak. When they find out what is causing the loop, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I thought it was kind of in my opinion. So, but this one, I mean, it's not bad. If I ever find it on Blu-ray for a cheap price, I might consider it.
Well,
I might. I don't think she will.
No, I think I'm okay unless they shorten it a bit.
Okay, so next after this, we got another foreign film. I want to say this one is from either China or Japan. I can't remember which. Killing Romance.
That one was fun with people.
This was a fun movie. especially watching it with a crowd of people because it was a packed theater. Everybody was getting into it. The best way I could describe this one is that it kind of feels like a live action cartoon slash musical because there are some musical numbers throughout the film. So if you can get into that, if you can get into that mindset, then you can enjoy this movie for sure. But I can see some people watching this for 5 minutes and just being like, okay, what the hell is this crap, and turning it off. It's like you really kind of have to get into that mindset to enjoy it. So basically, you got this random woman who ends up getting famous because she drinks a whole lot of soda in a short period of time. Yeah, I know. It's so random. It's a testament to how quickly people can get famous nowadays.
Yeah, if you sneeze wrong, you might be able to.
Oh my God, projectile sneezing. Look at that way that snot flew across the room. Anyway,
Ew.
pretty sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, she ends up becoming famous, gets a whole lot of movie roles. She ends up becoming an actress. And then at one point, she does this one movie that's listed as the most expensive movie ever made. Ends up being a huge fucking flop. People are kind of making fun of her. She's being ridiculed. And it really rubs her the wrong way so much so that she leaves and goes to an island, meets a guy, gets married, stays there for like 7 years, but all of a sudden she comes back. Well, it turns out the guy she married is an overbearing asshole. He's a guy that is doing everything in his power to control her life, every aspect of it. Like he even goes up and makes her smile when she doesn't want to. What a dick.
Yeah, well, no.
What was your favorite part of the movie that you can remember? Because I know you didn't get to rewatch any of these
The favorite part,
or anything that stood out for you.
I can't remember much of it, honestly. I just remember it was fun. It was a lot of fun with a lot of people.
And see,
And it
and
was
that
very bright.
it was very bright. Yeah. See, that's the thing about this movie. Going back, and it's not available anywhere, technically speaking, but she managed to find a copy of it that I could go back and actually watch it. And I feel like losing uh, the whole theater and being with a group of people watching this movie, I feel like that made the movie more fun back then. But now, without that element to fall on, the movie was okay for what it was. It wasn't as fun as I remember. I feel like watching it with a crowd is what helped make it fun.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I will say this: I do like the husband character. He is an asshole, but he is the right amount of being over the top in the way he acts and the way he does things, certain things he says and whatnot, without overdoing it. You know, he's a fun asshole essentially. I'm a little bit mixed on the musical aspect of the movie. It's like for the majority of the film, we don't get any songs, and then it just kind of happens out of nowhere. And I don't think any of the songs really resonated with me very much, but that's just me. But there were a lot of things to laugh at. There's some really good funny moments in this movie. So somebody please release this one on Blu-ray. Please. I would very much like to have this one in my collection. Seriously.
Hmm.
Moving on, the final movie that I was not able to rewatch this year, and the best documentary of the festival, and I don't think you'll disagree. Spooktacular.
Yes, that one was one of my favorite ones.
This one was awesome because of how informative it was, because I never knew this place existed. I had never heard of it before. Apparently, it was like what was it? It was like
It was a documentary
no, it's yeah, I know it's a
about
documentary.
like a haunted, kind of like how they had the corn mazes, but this one was a haunted maze area. Like you would go to different
Almost like a
parts,
haunted amusement park, kind of, sort of.
kind of.
And they would get celebrities to come out. They emphasized that they had a lot of different celebrities over the years. People like Elvira, Vincent Price was there at some point. Just a lot of different stuff going on, and that's up my alley because I'm a big horror fan nowadays.
I like horror.
Yes, he is a horror fan too.
I do. I like everything actually, but
Mhm.
I'm
Uh,
not too picky.
no, I find nowadays if you get to be picky with movies, you end up losing out on potential gems. Seriously.
Very true. Like what was one of the ones? Vengeance.
Oh, Vengeance! I
That
remember that
one,
one.
like that one, nobody ever knew it was coming out, what it was. It barely got any, but oh my gosh, was it a good ass movie? I enjoyed that one a lot.
That one wasn't too bad. I enjoyed that. I saw a couple of different times. What I liked, one of the things I really liked about that one is that they showcased Whataburger on the big screen. I thought that was awesome. Since we live in the hometown of Whataburger, that's just kind of hits on
There's
a
a
personal level.
whole
But
lot of
the movie
Whataburger.
itself was very interesting, and it was nice to see Ashton Kutcher play a different style of character we're not used to
That
seeing him
was
play.
awesome.
Yes, it
He
was.
made a very good. Yeah,
Hmm.
he was good.
But as far as spectacular, again, can somebody please pick this movie up? I want to watch it again, please. So this one actually gets high in the ranking because I did not fall asleep during this one, and I have very fond memories of watching it. I do remember at least so much of it. So somebody please put this out there. I'm begging you. Now we're getting closer and closer to number one. Number,
Yes.
sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Number seven, Suitable Flesh, starring Heather Graham and Barbara Crampton. Okay, so this is I don't even know if I call this a typical horror movie. It's more like a
Yeah,
thriller horror maybe.
psychological. Psychological.
Basically, it deals with body swapping. So, in a nutshell, you've got Heather Graham who plays a psychiatrist. She gets a visit from this kid who is really freaked out. He's scared to death of his dad for one reason or another. Keeps getting phone calls from his dad. He won't answer them. But then, for some stupid reason, he answers the phone, and all of a sudden, him and his father swap. You know what I mean? And apparently,
Yeah,
the
after
father,
he says a word, like some weird
yeah,
words.
some weird incantation. So the father has found out a way to swap. The way it works is that you have to do it three different times. The first time you do it, it's only for a couple minutes. The next time is like for, I don't know, like a couple hours or something like that. But if you do it a third time, the swap is permanent. And that's why the kid is so scared because he's afraid of losing his life and ending up in an old ass body.
Question is, how did he figure out that's what was going to happen?
Well, if I were, or how did he figure it out? His father probably told him. He was an arrogant son of a bitch, so I
Yep.
wouldn't be surprised if he actually said it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember enjoying this movie immensely when it first came out. Rewatching it, I feel like I noticed a lot more things about it that were more flawed. Like the dialogue can be really corny in some places. There's some weird cuts and there's some weird camera usage going on, especially during the swapping transitions. It's weird. It's very
Yeah,
weird.
and it can, if you're not used to all that shaking and stuff, it can really hurt your eyes and give you a headache because it did it to me a few times.
Not only that, but it also raised the question because the father, I guess he had a stroke at some point, and one of his hands is all kind of like mangled and whatnot. But when he makes the swap with other people throughout the film, that person's hand becomes deformed. And it's like, how does that work? I mean, wouldn't the body be deformed, not the soul carrying from one body to another? I don't get that. That I don't know. I mean,
I don't
I
understand
don't
it either.
understand that either. So,
And it was, yeah, that was crazy. They really played with that.
hmm and this is a gory film. The further into the film you get, some pretty decent practical effects going on here, but it also leads to some bullshit moments. There were a few times where I had to reach into my pocket and throw out the bullshit flag because some of the stuff that's going on, it's like, okay, there's no way that person is still alive. There's no fucking way. Absolutely not. But I will say this: the performances are all good. I've always enjoyed Heather Graham. I discovered Barbara Crampton a few years ago by watching Chopping Mall and of course Reanimator. We saw that years ago.
Yeah.
So and she was actually at last year's Fantastic Fest. Didn't get a chance to meet her, but that's okay. But I feel like the standout actor in this one was the guy that played the son. He was the standout because he
Yeah,
did the
he
best
had.
job of playing the other characters as they were inside of him, so to
Yeah,
speak.
he had to go through a whole lot of and make them all different. He did a good job with that.
Exactly, because pretty much a lot of the different actors had to do this. They had to play different characters as the swapping continues throughout the film. So, not a bad film for what it was. I am contemplating this one in my collection down the road. I know it's available on Blu ray.
Yeah, I think it is.
So, maybe one day. All right, so number six, You Are Not Me.
Am I not you?
I don't think you're me. I don't think I'm you either.
It doesn't make it. I that they should have picked a better title. You are not me.
I don't know. I think it's fitting considering what's going on.
I guess
But
so.
okay, so this one is kind of like it's listed as a horror movie, but for me, it's more of a suspense thriller because really nothing horrific happens until like the last 10 minutes of the film, which I will not dare to ruin the ending here. Absolutely not. But basically, you've got this woman who hasn't been home in a few years. She's going home for Christmas, and it's a surprise visit. She's bringing along with her her partner and their adopted baby. And when she gets home, instead of getting, greeted with open arms by her parents, they act like they don't want her there. They seem disappointed. You know what I mean? Like almost like her being there is like a burden. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's not the warmest welcome in the world. Frankly, the only person in the movie that's happy to see her is her brother, which unfortunately he's got some kind of a, what did you say?
ALS.
What is that?
I forgot the name. It's pretty much it's your body deteriorates slowly.
Okay.
You lose how to walk, you lose how to talk. Your muscles get very weak.
That makes
It's
perfect sense.
it's worse than MS.
That
So
makes perfect sense because the brother is actually secluded to a wheelchair, and they do say that his health is deteriorating so much so that he can't even hold the couple's baby. At one point, somebody suggested, but he's like, I don't have the strength for it. So yeah, I actually enjoyed his character a lot, along with the main character. I thought they both did a good job with their roles. And then on top of all this that's going on, we find out that the parents are actually letting this random homeless woman actually live in their house. But it goes further than that. Not only is she what?
Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, okay, I'm familiar with that one.
Okay, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. Well, there you go. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Not only like I said, they take it a step further with the this woman that's staying there. They're letting her live in their daughter's room, wear her daughter's clothes, including a wedding dress that she never used apparently, and wearing her jewelry, including family jewelry. They're treating her like she's the daughter, and the daughter isn't the daughter. You know what I mean? Like they're giving her all the special treatment as opposed to their real daughter. It's freaking weird. And throughout the whole movie, you're just wondering why? What is going on? Why are they doing this? And the whole time they keep telling the daughter that she needs to, they want her to go stay at a hotel, come back tomorrow. They keep emphasizing come back tomorrow. That's actually a key in what's happening with this movie, but I won't go any further in detail. The ending is crazy. I will say that the ending is freaking nuts. So much so that the couple director, I think they're the ones that wrote it and directed it. They were actually at the festival. They did do a Q&A after, and I think they introduced it beforehand because they have a quick cameo. They pulled the Hitchcock thing where they put themselves in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, they do.
And I remember asking them about the ending, like, okay, so was this your original ending when you wrote it, or was it something that you changed along the way? Because I have to give you props for sticking with the ending of how crazy it is.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
It really
It
is.
was a little much, even
But
though they didn't say where all that came from.
no, I mean, well, there. You know what? It turns out rewatching it, there were some little nods along the way that you didn't catch the first time because you didn't know. But when you finish it and then go back and watch it, you're like, oh, shoot, that thing was on. That was over there the whole time. Okay, crap. What the, So,
Yeah.
but all in all, I mean, the performances were pretty good. The premise is very intriguing. This one also had moments of darkness.
A lot of darkness. It was
Too
mostly
much.
all filmed at night.
Yeah, if it was filmed at night, that's fine. But there, even towards the end, there was one long fucking scene where you don't really know what the hell's going on, and I can't stand that shit. But in my opinion, the script could have used maybe just a little bit of little fine tuning. I feel like if they'd have done that and maybe cut down on the dark sequence a little bit, this could have been a little bit more of a classic for me. This would have been this could have jumped another spot or two. But being number 6 is not too bad.
No, not too bad.
All right, so we have officially reached the top 5, the nitty gritty. Because at this point, every single thing we saw was, in my opinion, pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There was even one movie that I'll talk about that originally I wasn't the biggest fan of it the first time I saw it. I thought it was okay, but going back and rewatching it, it definitely got better with the second viewing and a third viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it two more times. I couldn't help it. So coming in at number five, Your Lucky Day. This was a very interesting movie, in my opinion. This one definitely got the crowd going, especially certain little moments of the movie. So, and this one I actually own on Blu-ray, so it was easy to find.
Yeah. Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah, well, amidst all the movies in my collection that I haven't put in my bookshelves yet.
Well,
So,
that's
but thankfully I keep my shit organized. So,
Thank
yay. So this is a movie is a classic case of how a situation can go from zero to absolutely fucked in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So you got this drug dealer who gets mugged on a deal. It doesn't go the way he wants it to. He goes into a random convenience store. While he's in there, this random guy, this random asshole, goes in there, and it turns out he ends up winning this, what was it, $160 million lottery.
Way too much money.
I don't think the guy was even poor.
I know. I don't think.
I don't think he was. He looked like he had a nice car. It looked like he probably had money. But as soon as he finds out that he wins without any hesitation at all, the dealer decides to rob him for his ticket. And as soon as that happens, it turns out there's a cop in the bathroom that overhears all the commotion. He tries to help the situation, and from that point on,
All
everything. What?
All hell breaks loose.
All hell breaks loose. Everything goes to shit, and it becomes a situation where every single person that's in the store, between the robber, the cop, the guy behind the counter, and a couple where the girl is actually like 7, 8, 9 months pregnant. Yeah, it goes to hell, and it becomes a situation where everybody is trying to figure out how this situation is going to play out. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole rest of the movie is them trying to figure out how to get out of this situation, and you're constantly wondering throughout the film who's going to end up getting this ticket.
Yeah, but I'd give it that lady is pretty freaking crazy. She's really crazy.
Who is?
The girl, her brain is
Oh,
something
well,
else.
oh, you know what? She was the standout character. Jessica Garza, I think that was the name of the actress. She is the standout character in this movie. Not only does she get sympathy for being on the pregnant side, I mean, who? No, I don't want to see this woman get hurt. You know what I mean? Who does? But on top of all of that, she turns out to be the super smart character that ends up really kind of helping along the way to help figure out how this situation.
To manipulate.
What?
To manipulate the situation
Uh,
and gaslight.
I don't know about manipulate, but
Well,
definitely.
she kind of had to manipulate to get the people to listen to what. How do you
She kind of helped them figure out what to do in certain situations when they couldn't figure it out
So
themselves.
that's manipulating the situation in a
Well,
way.
that's more of a taking clay and molding it, trying to make the best of a bad situation. But the story is actually very good. Throughout the whole movie, you're just wondering how the hell is this whole thing going to play out. So, and again, it's a testament to how quickly a person's values can change at the idea of getting a crap ton of money and what people will go through to try to get it.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this movie if you've never seen it before. Again, it is available for some streaming. It is on Blu-ray if you can find it. Probably go to Amazon or something to get it. I do recommend it. This was one of the best we saw.
Yep.
Coming out in number 4, I'd be honest, originally I thought that I wasn't going to be able to watch this one. Toxic Avenger.
Oh.
Because it looked like it wasn't available, but then it got picked up so many months ago, and they finally put it out in theaters a few weeks ago. I was able to rewatch it. Thank you very much. The people that picked it up, I forgot who picked it up. If you're not familiar with this is a remake of the original 1984 film. On the surface, it's the same basic story from the original, but thankfully there is enough difference in this movie where it does not feel like a complete half-ass remake. You know what I mean? It feels like its own movie with just some references to the original. So instead of this guy being a nerdy kid, he's an older person. It's Peter Dinklage who's playing a struggling father. He
Mhm.
works as a janitor at this like pharmaceutical company
Yeah.
where Kevin Bacon, he is the crooked CEO. He's a guy who purposely goes out of his way to make these products that are harmful to people, but he doesn't give two shits. Both him and I think it's his associate or his wife, I don't think they ever explain who she is. They don't give a fuck who they hurt. They just want to make money. That's it.
Which is pretty sad.
Extremely. Dinklage, his character has a life threatening illness and he's trying to get some assistance from the CEO, but he gets blown off. And that ends up leading to him falling into that toxic waste and turning him into the toxic character that we all know and love. And basically, the rest of the movie is just Toxie, fighting against the corporation, taking out different henchmen and whatnot, and, just being Toxie. So
Yeah.
I was surprised how well this movie was compared to the original, how much fun it was. But then again, it's like when you've got some of your favorite actors, Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon, Elijah fucking Wood. I mean, come on, that's a trifecta of goodness, in my opinion. And they're all doing a good job. Uh, if I had any complaints, I feel like Elijah Wood maybe it would have been cool to see him maybe play this character a little bit more than he played. He's like a top henchman essentially. He does get some good laughs, and I feel like he doesn't get enough screen time. But that's just my personal opinion.
Probably.
But the mixture of the practical versus CG effects is pretty damn good. It's mostly practical from what I can tell. There's only so much CG. Unfortunately, there's a couple of moments where the CG is kind of obvious, but it's not enough to hinder my experience at all.
That's good.
I'll tell you what though, I took my son to go watch this movie. It's gorier than I remember. I don't remember the original version being unrated. I don't remember
I don't
that.
think it was.
I don't think it was. No. So I got a lot of him saying Jesus Christ during some of the gorier sequences. That's his way of cursing without actually cursing, because he can't drop the F bomb yet.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, not yet. A couple of years maybe. It's like the father from Willy Wonka. Dad won't let me have a real gun, will you, Pop? Not till you're 12, son.
You need to teach him how. You need to teach him how to say cheese and rice.
I told him just say fudge, like in Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And then one day I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna come out and it's gonna be like fudge, but it wasn't fudge. Anyway, yeah, the movie is a lot gorier than I remember. And one last thing I want to praise is the mop. The mop is an awesome weapon. I don't remember it being that big of a deal in the original film, but in this one, the mop actually does come into contact with toxic waste. And basically, it's almost like carrying a weapon of like acid. Essentially, every time he hits you with it, it'll disintegrate whatever body part it hits.
Ow.
It's fucking awesome. It's one of the best melee weapons I think I've seen anybody use in a film. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. So did my son. I cannot wait to get this movie on Blu ray. Oh, one last thing. It turns out I thought that Peter Dinklage played Toxie, but no, he didn't. It turns out they got a British actress to actually play the character in the makeup. And I'll be honest, I want this movie on Blu ray. I'm hoping that there's bonus features that go into detail as to why he didn't do the makeup, because I would really like to know. But definitely looking forward to that down the road. Top three. We're almost there.
Yay.
Okay, number three, Property.
That one was a good one.
This is the one that I was talking about that moved up a few spots. I don't remember liking it as much. I did like it. But I feel like watching it now, I enjoyed it that much more the second time around. So you get introduced to a character named Teresa. She's currently recovering from this like horrific situation, like a hostage situation that happened sometime prior to that. What's weird is that in the beginning of the whole thing, before they even show all the distributions for the film, they show this random sequence of a woman who's being held against her will under a gun. There's cops everywhere, and then after a few seconds, the cops blow this guy's head off. And it turns out that she was the character, because after that scene's over, they show all the distributions and then the movie starts. So you're left wondering, what the hell was that? But then you find out later that was her. And that's why throughout the film, she's very quiet. She's kind of inhibited. She doesn't talk a whole lot in the beginning because she's still dealing with it. It's traumatizing as all hell. So essentially, her and her husband are going to go drive down to their farm that they have, and the husband has just bought a new car, and he took it upon himself to put armor on it essentially with like bulletproof windows, and the car itself can't be shot up with bullets and shit. He does it on purpose because of what happened to her. He's doing it to help her feel safe. So and I really enjoy this woman's performance. It's easy to see that she's still dealing with this. She does a good job of portraying that aspect. So they drive down to the farm, and then once they get there, it's like the story kind of backs up and goes, and we see the perspective of what happened during the same time as we got introduced to the characters,
Yeah.
but from the perspective of the people that live at the farm, the workers, essentially. So apparently some shit went down, and apparently they're not going to be able to live there anymore. Yeah, it goes crazy after all that. We get to see all the different events that happen with all these workers, literally leading up to the moment that the couple shows up at the farm. Because things go to shit before they show up, and then they just get worse.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this one is that when this shit hits the fan, when they get to the farm, they kidnap the husband, the workers do, and the wife manages to escape to the car, but she can't drive it because apparently it's voice activated and she can't remember how to get the damn thing going. So she's literally just stuck in the car for a good portion of the movie, just sitting in there, and they're trying to talk to her, they're trying to get her out of the car. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Cujo a little bit.
Yeah.
During that movie when the dog has got the mother and the son trapped in the freaking car and they can't go anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Remind me of that.
I can see that.
Hmm. And then the main story, a lot of it is really her inside of the car and just trying to figure out what to do to get out of this situation. The movie is tense, and that carries throughout the majority of the film. This is why I put it so high, because throughout the whole movie, you're just like, okay, how is this going to play out? And some of the stuff that goes on along the way is nuts. I mean, you really get to know a lot of the different workers for the most part along the way, and a lot of their personalities really do stand out in one way or another. You know, all these guys are having different opinions and positions on what are they going to do, because without getting too specific, some shit goes down and it causes nothing but trouble, and some of them are going one way, and then a few of them are kind of thinking, no, we don't need to do this, we need to do that. And it just makes for a very tense and interesting situation throughout the entire film. I do praise the main actress. She does a good job with very little dialogue. I don't know if you remember that.
Vaguely.
Yeah, she didn't talk a whole lot. But, and then, getting to see the situation grow from both points of view. I mean, there's a lot of things I praise about this movie. If I had to say anything that didn't work for me, they end up pulling all the gas out of the car.
Yeah.
And then when she finally figures out how to get the car started, I won't explain how, she's able to drive a little bit before the car dies out. And I'm thinking, if there's no gas, how the hell did she start it? On fumes?
Mm-hmm.
Does that even work?
No,
I don't think so. But I mean, for the story, I get it. It's like you have to kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit. But I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know. The little kid, I think you know which one I'm talking about. I felt like his acting was a little bit eh.
Yeah, that poor kid.
That poor kid. And another thing, tell me about your perspective of the ending. I remember you saying you didn't like it very much.
No, I didn't like it very much. I know I'm agreeing. You're
Literally
pointing-
repeating what I just said.
You were pointing at the thingy.
I was pulling at what?
You were pointing at this.
No, I wasn't. I was just no.
Oh.
I mean, I remember you saying that you weren't the biggest fan of the ending because of how open-ended it was. They don't really explain what happens. It kind of leaves you.
There's no conclusion.
No conclusive ending. It kind of leaves you wondering how is it going to play out after it fades to black. But yeah, that aside from that, can't praise this movie enough. I very much enjoyed it. Unfortunately, there were two other movies that beat it for the number 1 and the number 2 spot. And I'm not going to lie, this was a tough choice. This was, yeah,
I
you
would
know.
have done it the other way around. The way
Would
you
you?
did it.
See, but it was so hard, though. It was difficult. All right, so coming in at number 2, Now, the first year we went, we only got to go to one secret screening. They did four secret screenings that year. The first one for the second half, we didn't get to go to, which, if I'm being honest, I'm actually not disappointed once I found out what it was. That movie, Dogman, about a
Mm.
guy who can communicate with dogs or whatever, and he's like a crime boss or some bullcrap, or he attacks crime bosses with the dog. I've heard from several different YouTubers about this movie that it was kind of
Well, good thing we didn't watch it.
well, you know what's funny is that some of the people's reactions to when they announced that it was going to be this movie, nobody got excited. Like nobody. Like Cody actually was filming it, and when he found out what it was, he says the reaction was kind of like, "Okay, are you fucking with us right now? Like, are you going to show us something else? You're just screwing with us, or you're just trying to gauge our reaction?" But no, they weren't playing around. But the other secret screening that we got to go to, Saw X.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is that they put these little ping pong eyeballs on everyone's chairs before we walked in to kind of give us a clue as to what the movie was. I thought that was funny as all hell.
Yeah. And it was like the chair had eyeballs.
Yeah, they were staring at us and it was fucking creepy. I don't want stairs looking at me. That means they're staring at my ass the whole movie, and that just doesn't make me feel comfortable. Yeah, I don't like that. But this movie is fucking awesome in my opinion. I dare say this is probably the best Saw movie we ever got.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, it takes place between Saw and Saw 2. Originally, I wasn't really happy when I found out they were making another Saw movie, mostly because I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie Jigsaw. Like the Saw franchise is kind of a roller coaster of good and bad elements put together, but Jigsaw just rubbed me the wrong way the first time I saw it.
Hmm.
I thought, what was the other one? Spiral? I thought
Yeah.
Spiral wasn't too bad for what it was. I've only seen it the one time. But my lack of enthusiasm kind of faded away after I started watching this movie. And yeah, it might be the best in the series for me. My favorite thing about it, the basic premise, is that it's John Kramer. Of course, we all know from the people, all of us fans know that he's gonna be dying of cancer. He's going to cancer meetings. He comes across somebody who claims he's been in full what is it, remission,
Yeah,
right?
remission.
Remission due to some kind of a new kind of surgery that he went through that combined with a type of, like, they say it's a drug cocktail essentially. Anyway, Kramer falls for it. He reaches out to the doctor who does this whole thing. They get the whole surgery set up. And it turns out the whole thing is bullshit. He doesn't get healed. He doesn't get fixed. Nothing comes from it. And he just spent a crap ton of money on absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that sucks.
So the rest of the movie is him getting revenge on every single person that was involved in screwing him over, from the taxi driver to the doctor and all the people in between. And I'll tell you what, there are so many times in this franchise where people are in traps that don't really, in my opinion, they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But in this movie, as far as I'm concerned, every last one of these people, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they screwed him over, and they all get exactly what they deserve, in my opinion.
That is true.
So I absolutely love this movie in the sense that Tobin Bell, he is the main character. Obviously, he's Jigsaw, but he doesn't always have a big part in all the other films. As a matter of fact, after part three, he typically has maybe what, one, maybe two scenes per film after that, and that's it. But in this one, he is the central character, and he does a great job. I'm surprised they're still able to come up with new traps after 10 fucking movies.
Yeah, it's a lot of movies.
There were some interesting traps here. Nothing, I don't think anything that was stupendous or anything, but at least they didn't feel like rehashings of previous ones. That one with the rope.
Oh,
Oh my God.
ouch.
Ooh, that shit makes me. And that's the thing. This movie made me cringe throughout some of the traps, like really cringe. Maybe not as bad as Bring Her Back, but we're not going to talk about that movie right now.
No, no.
No, we're not talking about that movie today. New. But I'll tell you what, though, I do enjoy along the way that we see a little bit of John showing compassion towards a particular character, and I won't go into detail about that. But and also with Amanda. Amanda is actually in this movie helping him out the whole way. and getting to see a little bit more about how emotional she can get in certain situations. Really kind of catering to how the characters were. It felt like both of them just jumped right back into their characters all over again. So the only real complaint after watching this movie about three different times that I can come up with, it's more of a nitpick. And that's the fact that the legacy characters are obviously considerably older than they were when they started making this franchise.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to overlook it, this is a great fucking flick.
Yeah.
It really is. I like I said, I one of these days I'm gonna do a Saw ranking and see if I feel like this is the best one of all because this
Kinda
there
is.
I don't remember there being a boring moment in this entire fucking film at all. So cannot praise this one enough. But I'm not gonna lie, like I said, this was tough between number two and number one. But after going back and rewatching number one, I feel like I had the most fun with this movie. And coming in at number one is going to be Totally Killer.
Oh, that one was awesome.
It was. This was the final film of our first festival. And quite frankly, the best way this movie can be described, a lot of people on YouTube, they talk about it being Back to the Future, which meets a slasher film. And I can't really argue that. I really can't. So the basic story is that so many years ago, there were three teen girls that were savagely murdered. Each one of them were what?
I said, yep.
Each one of them were stabbed 17 consecutive times. And then out of nowhere, the killer just boop, vanishes for so many years. So the main character in this movie, without getting too specific about it, she ends up losing somebody that's close to her and accidentally gets sent back to the 80s at the time when this person was still alive. And so basically it turns into kind of a whodunit kind of situation because they never find out who the killer was originally. So she's going back and trying to save the original three girls that got killed and trying to find out who the killer was in the process.
Yeah.
So there are so many good comedic moments
There are.
in this movie. You know, so many just random lines and situations. And what I love about this movie is how the absurdity of things that happened in the 80s are poked fun at, but then the absurdity of how things are now are also it doesn't feel like they're just kind of jabbing at the way things were then. Both sides of the coin are made fun of, and it makes for some really funny situations.
Yeah.
I do like of the killer's mask, the Max Headroom looking thing.
The big ass mask.
Yeah, it's a big mess. They actually had a few people when that movie premiered. They had a few of them standing there wearing the outfit with the mask and whatnot. I'm like, can we get one of those masks, please? I would love to have one. Seriously. Plenty of likable characters, especially the main character. If there is one complaint, what is my complaint? Do you know what my complaint is?
No.
Okay. I just want to know. I don't know if I told you.
I don't remember.
The reveal of the killer was weak.
Yeah.
It was like after spending the whole movie wondering who did it, when you finally find out who it is, I remember thinking, what? What? Seriously? That's it? But they also take it a step further on who the killer actually is. So, but I feel like anything I say about that will be a disservice to this film.
Yeah, don't do that.
And the thing is that with any time travel movie, it's tricky because since time travel doesn't really exist, everybody kind of uses their own spin, their own take on it. I kind of like what they did with this one. But again, I won't get specific on it. But if you have not seen this movie, much like the last few that I just talked about, the top five, I highly recommend it. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. And it was even more fun watching it with a crowd of people 2 years ago. If they ever put this one on Blu-ray, I don't know if it is. I definitely want it. Hopefully they got some features for it too. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a bonus feature whore. I go complete ape shit for bonus features. I can't help it.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Well, no. That is my total ranking. So you would probably put a few of these in different spots, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, she probably would. But that's okay. I mean, do you more or less agree with a lot of these movies?
Yes, I do.
But you heard it from her. She would have put Saw X above Totally Killer. But there's nothing wrong with that because both movies are great.
They really are. I enjoyed them both.
Okay, so that is the end of the podcast. I greatly appreciate any of you who sat through the whole entire thing to listen to us talk about these movies. Clearly, went over the hour mark, which I'm not surprised by that. The funny thing is that I'm also planning on doing the exact same thing with all the movies we saw last year. But that one's going to be twice as long because in 8 days, we saw 31 movies.
Maybe you need to do a part one and part two so it's broken down.
That's not a bad idea. That's probably what I'll end up doing because it'll be really long. So,
Yeah.
but as far as what?
I said, yep, now you got it, this one at least done.
Yes. Now we just got to figure out how to get the damn internet working here at the hotel so I can put it on my channel.
We'll get
One thing at a time. One thing at a time. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We're just a couple of hours away from checking out the first movie, which is Primate. Looking forward to it. This was her pick, by the way. It's got a
Yes.
monkey.
It does got a monkey.
It's got a monkey. Woo.
It's a crazy monkey. Bad monkey.
That's what they say. That's what they're saying in the synopsis.
He
So
better be bad.
we already had one killer monkey this year.
This
Even
one
though he
is-
was a toy, but it was awesome.
exactly. This one is not a toy. He's the real deal.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, and I want to say thank you very much for listening.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Typically, I would plug my brother's podcast, but I don't have the information directly in front of me, and I don't have it memorized. But that's over at the Josh Zodiac podcast. We haven't done a podcast in a while, as I said in my last episode, but that's okay. We're going to be returning to form sometime soon, I'm sure. But thank you so very much for listening. Please take care of yourselves, be safe, but don't forget to have fun. Just not too much fun.